Boy, do we have a treat for you, Kid Nation.
Yes, we do.
This may surpass the Pitbull performance that took place here in the Canal Side Lounge with this setup.
Big bar.
They have been setting up all morning long.
Dude, they got here yesterday.
Yeah.
When I left work yesterday, the 18-wheeler was outside the loading dock.
Oh, that's what it was? It was for us?
Yes.
Well, they got here yesterday to set up for this. I am talking about the Blue Man Group, everybody.
Yeah.
Now, the Blue Men do not talk.
Yeah. Yes.
So, to talk for the Blue Man Group, we have Chris and Doug.
Oh, the white guys for the blue guys.
Hey, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you guys are the producers of the whole show?
Yeah, well, of the show, and we're producers on the record. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And I play in the band, wrote a lot of the music on the record with a bunch of other great people.
How'd you get out of getting painted then?
I'm not a blue man, that's why.
Okay.
Oh.
But you're in the band.
But I've
the
done
band.
a lot of the tours and stuff. I have gotten into makeup, just not the blue man makeup.
Yeah.
So what is it? I didn't know that there were 50 to 60 blue men around the country.
Around the world.
Or around the
Around the
world.
world.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, because I had
even
seen a show in
more
Chicago
special.
before. Yeah. What
Wow.
does it take to become a blue man?
It's a pretty crazy skill set. I mean, it's some part acting and drumming, and we go back and forth. Like, is it harder to train an actor to drum or a drummer to be an actor? And then you just get some amazing people who come in and can just do it, even if they've only done one or the other in the past.
You have to audition because I heard somebody tried out like 3 times before they made it. Did I hear that correctly?
Oh, wait. We've had people who have tried out like 1,000,000 times, and you're like, hey, you're really close. You got to work on catching things in your mouth, and they go and they practice, and then some people just don't make it, but there are a lot of people that multiple times.
Catching
good at
things
that.
in
I'm
your
good at
mouth.
that.
That's
I'm
pretty
good at
important.
that.
That's a big
what
one.
would I have to catch in my mouth?
Jennifer
Marshmallows
Marshmallows.
and
Oh,
gumballs
okay. Oh, I can do
from pretty far away. That's a pretty big skill.
Yeah.
Well, since I can do that, where are the blue women?
We have had blue women.
Do I have to cut my hair off?
If
where do
it'll
they-
fit
I-
under a bald cap, you don't have to.
Oh.
So, but you can't tell they're women because they're
It's all
What do
Yeah.
they do with
They're
the boobs and
unisex.
the hair? Yeah.
It's just sort of all kind of
taped down.
smoothed over.
Oh,
interesting.
so you might have a big guy with boobs, man boobs. He'd be the Boob Man Group.
Oh.
They probably should have thought about
Thank
that.
you
boob
for
joke
the
fell
courtesy laugh, you guys. The boob.
Can a black man be a blue man?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there,
Okay.
They
there
get
are.
painted blue, Al.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Have you ever had a super young blue man?
The youngest you've ever had.
I think 21 is the cutoff, right? You can't be younger.
You do a lot of acting with your eyes.
It
too,
is.
I
It's
noticed.
not many people can sort of to a packed house telegraph with just their eyes and their posture so much emotion
Yeah.
or connecting with people just with that. So that's sort of another skill that we
Blue
really
men
look
actually
for.
scare me just a little bit.
Why?
I think it's the non-talking stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
because they get in your face and they're trying to communicate with their eyes, so it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
Are
They
most
come-
of them married? How's the dating life for the blue men?
I'd say it's all over the map.
yeah.
It's that you have family men and then certainly young people who are.
And what about the blue man
Enjoying their
groupies?
status as
Remember,
blue
we
men.
used to have a
had
listener
groupies.
We
that would
had
come up
groupies in
here.
Are you a groupie?
No, the
sir?
one. Well,
No,
I
she's
mean,
not here. She would come every time the Blue
every
Man Group would come
time.
to town.
Yeah.
she would come by
blue hair.
here, and they're really passionate and obsessive. Do any of them frighten you?
Yeah.
No, we have a pretty good fan base. They're pretty cool. I've yet to be frightened by.
What's the most unusual thing a fan has done, like to try to?
I had when we were on the Complex tour. We have our credentials around our neck, and some really passionate young kid who wanted us to like sign some drumsticks and stuff took all my credentials and like ran off with them. And I'm like, that's awesome, except now I can't get backstage anymore, and I need to go play the show. But he actually brought it back and had drawn a crude picture of himself over my face, and I'm like, it was a little weird, but it was actually totally awesome.
Yeah.
And I left
They mean
that as
well.
my picture for the rest of the tour.
Have you
That's
ever
sweet.
allowed any celebrities to be stand-in blue men, discreetly?
Joe Jonas.
Joe Jonas
Yes.
and Alan Richson.
That's
Actually, this was
right.
kind of a big deal for us. In 2015, we kind of had a first time we did this show, I Can Do That.
Uh-huh.
Such a cool
And-
idea.
Yeah, and
It was really fun.
it's really a kind of a sacred process. We don't let anybody put on the makeup, become bald and blue. But those guys really nailed it.
And then they had a week, literally. Was that in real time?
It was in real time. It was really only a week training. And the catching in the mouth, we thought that was going to be the hardest thing because our trainees really struggle with that. Alan was instantaneous. We thought we had all like this planning done, but he could catch anything in his mouth.
Unfortunately, Joe had a tough time with the catching in the mouth. Part of it is like the gumballs are filled with paint, and the poor guy, they kept exploding on him every time, and it's just like it's unpleasant. It goes down your throat, and the idea is to have them not explode. But he was a trooper, and I have to say, when we did the performance, it was great. He really
I
worked hard
really
on it.
enjoyed
If
that
you just
week.
tuned in, we're talking about the Blue Man Group and how difficult it is to catch the
Exploding balls
that
in the
explode
mouth,
in the
yeah.
mouth. Yes.
So
yes.
why blue? Could you have been green?
Well,
Red?
one of the reasons is blue is it's sort of neutral. Almost any other thing has a connotation. If you say red or green, you're a Martian. So blue is, I just think we liked it because it doesn't necessarily, nothing comes to mind. It's neutral.
So back in the day when this all started, it started on the street, right?
It did,
This
yeah.
was a street act. And
Yes.
were the Blue Man Group painted on the street
Oh,
as
yeah.
well?
Absolutely.
And, but from the streets to Vegas, how long did that take before the Blue Man Group blew up?
Well, it went from the streets to basically like comedy clubs and sort of different performance venues to having our own show in New York, and that's what was that, 91? Mm-hmm. So it was a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years to get from the street to that show, and then I think by the end of the decade of the 90s we were in Vegas.
Yeah, because one of the things about the show, even though we started back then in '91 in the actual theater, and it started as street performances, they were always trying new things. So the show you saw in 1991 is completely different than the show you saw in 2000, and now the show that we have in New York now is also changing all the time. So there's always new stuff to see in the shows.
Yeah.
Keeps us
This is
busy.
so cool. Could we get the Blue Man Group to perform in this crazy set you guys?
I
I think we can. Yeah,
think
and
they
actually,
will.
It's a pretty big deal. We're announcing here exclusively that we have a new album coming out.
Oh.
What's it
this
called?
year.
Three.
Oh, nice.
Three.
Question: is
Very
it your
Adele.
third
It is our third album,
It's a third album.
and
It is
there
very
are
Adele.
3 Blue Men, so it
Perceptive.
felt right.
I am picking up what you're dropping
Yes.
down, catching it in my mouth, actually.
And we're world premiering 2 new songs that are on the record. They've never been played live
about
before
that?
anywhere from Kid Nation. You guys are hearing it first.
Are we going to
Wow.
hear Creature Feature?
We're not playing Creature Feature, but people can go to the website and get a free download, the KiddNation website. If they go, they can get a free download of Creature Feature. They can go pre-order the album.
Yes.
And it's kind of a
On
special
Amazon,
gift
you
just
can
for your
pre-order it.
friends.
Yeah.
So it's
Hear
gonna
that,
be
Kid
great.
Nation? Go to KiddNation.com. Download Creature Feature
For free.
For free.
For free.
And the album doesn't even come out till April, so you're getting it super early.
April 22nd.
All right, let's get some
Awesome. You guys
jams going.
excited? You want to hear some Blue Man Group?
Yeah.
They're so curious.
Yeah, they are very curious.
Look how curious they are.